What's up, fam? All clouded, and today we have a slightly different episode than what you guys are used to seeing. So today we're joined by JR. JR, give the guys a shout out.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So recently on stream, uh, like you guys know, when it comes to the tower and that, some things are a little bit difficult as far as giving recommendations to people or giving some sort of advice because it goes back to the old saying, when it comes to anything in the tower, it depends. Boys, it depends. There's a lot of factors involved, and for the most part, a majority of us know our tower. Our tower is our tower, and our tower's not like anybody else's. So what I did instead is I just said to the bro, hey, how about you reach out in Discord? And Junior's been a part of our journey for a long time, so this episode kind of means something. I know we're getting a bit gushy, boys. It means a bit of something to us. But he's been a part of our journey for a long time, and he's our guildie as well. So what we want to do, we want to do him a bit of a solid. But I think the name of the game today is just tick off some milestones, and I'm not referring milestones as far as the milestone runs that we do, but certain stages within the game that can just kind of accelerate his account. So there's a few things that we want to focus on. Probably the biggest consideration today, and anything that I'm recommending factors in IRL stuff. So just outside of work, or just outside of the tower, I should say, JR. Can you tell us a quick little spiel about yourself for all the people tuning in?
Well, outside of the tower, I don't really like that many other things. I think a lot of the tower players tend to have some form of uh, sort of ADHD slash OCD qualities about themselves, I feel. And I feel like I include myself in that because outside of the tower, I actually fly airplanes for a living. I find everything about flying pretty fun. Always wanted to do it as a kid, and I'm very very grateful to be able to do it for a living at the moment. But on the side, whenever I'm not flying, I do need something to keep my brain running, and seeing numbers go up seems to work pretty well at the moment. So that's why I've been playing it for about the last year and a half or so.
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, recently on stream, JR offered to do a loop around and pick up the boys and drop them off so they could get some live viewing of some motorboats, boys. So, so if you are interested, hit up JR. He's the man with the plane, and I'll get you guys some tickets to New Zealand, and you can watch the stream in real time. But no, that's cool, bro. I think it's a real important part of the journey that a lot of us have is, as cheesy as it sounds, between connections. By the now the degree of separation amongst the world is a lot smaller because we have the internet. It's also cool knowing just a little bit about people outside of the tower. And I do agree with you. This this game kind of to hang on to it for the long haul. It does take some degree of mental sanity that probably a few of us are lacking a few screws in there. So I think you kind of hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
So at the moment you're in a farming run. So can you tell us a little bit about your farm? So it looks like we're tier 11, wave 5400. Is this reflective of the day-to-day farming tier that you run?
Yeah, so only very recently I started farming tier 11 again. Prior to dissonance runs being a thing, I was
Okay. Yep.
farming only tier 11 because I moved away from tier 10. But after the disco runs came out, I went back to tier 10 because it was a better coin bonus.
It makes sense. It did the same thing to me. So I was farming tier 16 and I went back to tier 15 for
Yep.
a wee bit there until I could kind of get a grip of the update and try to figure it out. So tier 11. So you're at wave 5500.
Yep.
For your account, What are we talking about as far as like how many hours does the run go for? How many waves? Just for everybody.
Generally, at the moment, tier 11, anything between 8 and 9,000
Eight or nine
waves.
thousand. So that's right up near that 12-hour marker.
Yeah, just
So
under, yeah.
so we're doing two of those.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Is there a bit of
Occasionally,
flexibility with like in case there's tournaments and that sort of stuff?
yeah, correct. I'm still able to work around it to a certain degree, so I think it's working all right for the time being.
Sweet, it makes sense. It's slightly different probably now than it was for a lot of people that are at the stage of the game where you are, but historically, for all of you tower boomers out there, Tier 11 was one of those tiers where people spent quite a bit of time. But now that there's different tools available to the community and stuff, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So you went back to Tier 10, you've gone back up to Tier 11, you've managed to make it work for you again. So the way I like to phrase it is you've gone for the bigger fruit again. You've secured the fruit. You've climbed the tree. You got the fruit. So now I suppose on our end of the fence is we're looking at how can we maximize how much juice we're squeezing out of the fruit. So from the survivability standpoint, you seem to not really have a problem. And as far as like EHP goes, um, for tier 11, unless we were specifically trying to go beyond the 12-hour point or we were trying to get to that 12-hour point, we would generally push for that so that we can just get that. For example, I started my runs at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'd end it at 6 o'clock at night and then start the next one and just go round and round in circles. But normally when you're around that 11 and a half hour sort of window, you don't need to push for it so hard because it just comes naturally through module levels and some other things that we get like relics and stuff like that. So there's no like urgency for a push from that standpoint. Sometimes there is a need for a push when it comes to switching builds, like going from perma black hole and surviving the 12 hours to changing build and dropping perma black hole. But if you're
Yep.
surviving it fine without perma black hole, that's another thing that we can take in consideration. That you've got enough beef there because it looks like on the screen you've got about 34 trillion regen,
Yes.
and is that about 800 T wall health?
Uh, no, it'll be just under 200 T.
Just under 200. Are you able to go to your defense tab, please?
Yes.
It's just a little bit blurry on my side of the fence.
Yep.
So like I see it now. It's like 196 or something.
Yeah, 198.
198.
Yep.
And that gets you the 12 hours?
Yeah, it's about 11 and a half hours at the moment. This is with all the perks already picked.
Okay. What sort of damage reduction stuff do you have?
Um, Damage reduction. I have a couple levels in um the
The Chain Thunder or something like that, is it?
Chain Thunder. That's the one. I think maybe one or two levels. I can have a quick look at it now. Yeah, so level 4 in Chain Thunder.
And it looks like you've got quite a bit of uptime in that. Chronofield looks to be going off quite a bit. What's your reduction in that?
Reduction is
24%?
24%.
So
So
it's in a fairly
up,
good spot, eh?
yeah, I'm about to finish the as you can see in lab number 2 there. I'm on the second last level now. So that'll go to max just to get it out the way.
Okay. So there is certain strats you can use. Some people will just farm without the CF on
Yep.
until they until you you get to the tail end of the run in that. So that's something you can experiment with, like when you don't
Yep.
necessarily need the the damage reduction that it's applied, and you can use it in the top end.
Yep.
And as far as your health level skips, what's that looking like?
I'll just go home here. Health level skips. In the workshop, it's 246,
240, nice.
and then in the run itself, it's about 41%.
Oh, sorry, I mean attack level skips. My bad. So it's
Oh,
about
attack
50%.
attack, it's yeah,
50%
just
at
over
max,
50.
and
Yep.
200 and level
Uh, the workshop level is 310.
310. Sweet. So it's in a real good spot. Um, are you able to go to your run history?
Sure can. Here it is. Did a couple of disco runs over the last few days.
So we're kind of knocking on the door of 10T an hour.
Yep.
So it's about. So we're getting close to 10 trill an hour, somewhere close to 100 T a run. So about 200 T a day.
Yeah.
And then just for reference for everybody, what's your lifetime stats?
Lifetime stats. I started in March 2025, so last year, so about a year and 3 months in, about 5.5 little Q at the moment, and then stones just over 12,000 at the moment.
Sweet. So you got the scatter labs, and what's your highest unlock and from the milestones?
Oh, highest, it's
The
P16
the
160, let's call it.
scatter labs and the masteries and that.
Yeah,
Sweet, sweet. What we'll do, we'll just jump out of the run, and then we'll start doing the rounds, and I'll see if there's anything
yeah,
noticeable that stands out. So
yep,
you're basically doing like a blender style build, eh?
yes.
So before we look at the workshop, I might actually ask you to go to the modules, please.
Yeah, sure.
Sharp Fortitude, Amp Strike, G Comp, and MVN. Sweet. You got plenty of ancestrals there too.
Yeah, a few.
How far away is your BHD from going ancestral?
So I got a Mythic Plus already, and then I got one Epic Plus, and then another
So you're
Epic.
one
So
copy off.
one copy away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you pretty much could get it. I mean, it looks like you got heaps of gems, so you're waiting for a banner or something like that. But you pretty much could get
yeah,
it at any stage,
yep.
unless you end up like me and you're one copy off ancestral dim core for like 6 months or
For
8 months.
ages.
Fuck,
Yeah,
got absolutely wrecked on it.
yep.
And then your Prim C, how's that looking?
Uh, this one is Mythic Plus. I only made it Mythic Plus a few days ago
Sweet,
just to give it a try because I got the black hole cooldown maxed in the workshop.
sweet. And just for your MVN, can I have a look at the substats, please?
Yeah, of course.
GT cooldown, Deathwave cooldown, Deathwave quant, and then you've pretty much got 2 flex slots, eh?
Yeah.
Sweet. All goods. Alright, we'll go to the workshop.
Yep. There you go.
Can we go to the enhancements?
Sure can. Here it is.
Sweet, you got a bit of damage, bit of attack speed. That's always attack speed's always a great stat to roll with. And your
Yep.
defense. Sweet. Orb size is one of those really annoying ones. It takes quite a bit of investment to extract something out of it.
Yep.
And I also feel like it's, to me, I'm not saying it's only good, but it feels like it's only good when you're at a really low range. Like it just feels like you get
Okay.
a lot more bang for buck. But it's one of those ones that when your econ's in a real nice spot, definitely dive into it, and it's really good to have. But kind of until that point, it just feels a bit kind of meh, like
Yeah,
like
I noticed that. I'm gonna bring it back to zero on the next
like the
respec for
boys are
sure.
like, I put quite a bit of coins in orb size, and I was like, when does this even do anything? And the boys are like, oh, like at a minimum get it to 1.75, but you really want it at like over 2. I was like, god damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those stink ones because we all like chunky orbs. And for the utility,
Yeah.
sweet. Can you show me the price of your attack level skips in your general workshop? Like what the cost
Yes.
of like 10 is or something like that.
Oh, 10. Yeah. Here you go.
Oh, sweet. So that's still really cheap for you, eh?
Yeah, it's not too bad at the
And
moment.
that
Um,
was at 240.
this one is at 310, and then
310.
the health
So
was at
you could probably easily take it to 350, eh? I couldn't imagine
both of them. Yeah.
that that the attack level skips would be too hard, and you could probably get away with leaving the health level skips for a wee whiles.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cheap between the 0 and like 200. And then every once in a while I have a daily mission that says buy a workshop upgrade, and I'll just do a single tap.
And for the last tab, can we look at the second to last tab? Can we look at the ultimate weapons, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, got chain lightning 1750 for your next ultimate weapon. Is that your sixth or seventh?
7.
Seventh. Sweet. So you're getting up there. G2's got a nice duration. You got a bit of investment in CF.
Yeah, I do.
Is there, so for the CF, um is there any reasoning for going down that path?
I think at the time I was already farming with GComp and MVN, and I think the a big issue I was sort of having at the time was the amount of mobs that would make it past
Yep.
the orb line and
Yep.
just sit on my wall. I
So
have no
you're
problem
just
with that.
using it as a
I,
way to kind of give you a bit of a buffer in between the downtime?
yeah, to keep them out and then not to kill them with the thorns, and then
Mm-hmm.
try and hoard them all and wait for the econ ultimate weapons to go off.
Yep. So you're so it's an extremely similar strat that's used for orbless farming. That in between
Right.
that downtime, you're just trying to juggle the enemies. So your
Yep.
death wave's at 317, and your GT's at 318. And can we look at the black hole, please?
Yes, here it is.
And that 58 meters that's on your black holes with the substat.
That is with the substat, yeah. And then the
So it'll
golden tower
be
and
54 meters.
um it'll be,
It'll be about
let's
54
see.
meters, eh?
Yeah, I got a plus 12 on the substat,
Oh, plus
so
12?
that's, yeah, so that's 46.
46? Okay. Alright, sweet. And you didn't have a black hole duration subset, eh? It was just the range?
It was just the range, yeah.
Just the range, yep. Sweet. And I suppose the last thing really to look at, labs will be a longer part, so we could probably save that for the end of the video. But
Yep,
just the cards, please.
cool. Here's my farming cards.
So you've got
I'll just
no masteries unlocked,
no masteries at all.
and we've
Yep.
got 15 card slots. So for the farm, you got a farm early and a farm late. Is there what kind of changes in that? Are you just like subbing
So
out cash and stuff?
yeah, subbing out cash for free ups, and then the last one, what is this? Free ups for attack speed. So free ups technically doesn't ever get taken out. It's just cash being swapped for attack speed,
Attack speed?
just to
Okay.
try and push the
Just
mobs back a little bit more.
just last a little bit longer.
Yeah,
And all the rest of your cards are covered? Because your module's at level 1 and you've got no damage cards in, so you're just
correct.
pretty much farming like EHP sort of buzz.
Correct. There are no damage cards at all.
Sweet. And I mean, to be fair, if you're surviving for 12 hours, you probably don't. You're probably not hungry for damage.
Yep.
Cool. I think we're pretty much covered. Like we've got a pretty good idea. So we're farming like a blender. We're doing about 2 12-hour runs with a little bit of flexibility. We're farming blender. We've got plenty of room for low-hanging fruit. And when I say low-hanging fruit, it's all relative. So to me, it looks like extremely low-hanging fruit, depending on the position of where you are in the game, because I do remember walking down those sync times, and for the income that I was getting of stones a week, it was not low-hanging fruit, boys. It was like, oh my days. Like I think to be honest, I got the last click in GT cooldown. I'm pretty sure I got that for my birthday. It's like when you're supposed to get shoes or something. It's like I got a click in I got a click in GT. Oh
Yeah, I
no,
think
my tower's turned off. What's going on? Oh, my tower went to
it took
sleep.
me a long time to bring that black hole cooldown to max. I think it was at least over 2 to 3 months of just ornies and daily missions and buying stones in the event store.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's an absolute grind. So when it comes to buying stones in the event store, we're definitely not still doing that, eh?
Well, just a couple every 2 weeks, but I think at some point I do need to stop that. I think it's just to supplement the lack of stones from bouncing between platinum
Yeah,
champs at the moment.
I know what you mean. But I'd probably say going forward, the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze. So I'd it's up to you, but I'd highly recommend not spending another medal in it. I know it
Yep.
was advised to all of us while chasing sync to pick up those extras, and like it's all relative to everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like getting that sync will net you faster rewards, but I suppose just down in the long term. So I think there was on my account, for example, when the stat changed to include all sources of stones, which included the chests a week, and then which included like purchasing medals through the event store in there. I think in total it was about 3 or 4 thousand on my account,
Yep.
and that's probably keeping in mind that so 3 or 4 thousand medals, which is a lot of medals. That's a couple of event passes that's lost in time in that. So that's definitely something to consider. And then just for everyone, are you able to click on your tournament tab?
Sure can. Oh,
And
here
then
it
we'll just
is.
go to the history. Alright, so you're getting pretty up there in champs.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll be lucky enough in a
But
soft
the
enough bracket
waveflation
to
in
stay.
champs, I can imagine, is a bit of a scrap for you.
Yeah.
So 751 waves. Um, that's a personal best. Is that a personal best?
It is. Yeah, that's a PB.
So you crack the PB, and either through RNG or just raw inflation in the game, waveflation, it netted you 26. So
Yeah, it got me
that's
demoted instead.
yeah. So that's something that we also want to factor in, eh?
Yep.
Okay. So the main objective of today um, would be on your end of the fence. I know you're talking about econ in the stream and that. So we want to get a butt ton more econ. We want to get rich and have champagne showers. And I'm assuming we just want better consistency when it comes to tournaments and that.
Yep.
Because I always advise people at the level of like where you're at is try to secure mid to high champs. And by high champs, I don't mean the category of guys that get bumped up to legends. I just mean like anywhere near that top end. So you can comfortably sit there, because I'm pretty sure it's close to about 500 stones a week. And if you're in platinum, I can't remember what the rewards are, but what would 2 platinum tournaments be?
Two top. I usually end up in second place for plat. Occasionally first. So it's about 140, 160 stones.
So it's about 300 versus if we could sit in mid-high champs, would
Yeah, mid
be
champs is
would be shy of 500, eh?
yeah.
And so that's definitely something. So we would rather get our stone income from that source, and then hopefully that can at least like take a little bit of the pressure off to feel like we want to exchange our metals for stones and that.
Yep.
For sure. And the thing that's hard with champs at the moment is since version 28, a lot of players have access to being able to lab masteries that otherwise didn't, which then in turn means that there's a lot of people you're going to be fighting in there that have masteries in that. And for the most part, anyone who's wise is going to go for the econ ones first. So it's not like a instant spike in power, but what it does mean is that their account's snowballing. So the sooner that we can snowball your account, probably the better.
Yep.
So if we go back to the module tab, we'll go right back to where we started. So with the cooldown on your Death Wave and your GT, have you looked up the Multiverse Nexus calculator? And if you have, do you know what sync time that is?
The sync time is. Oh, I can just go back into the run and show you. The sync time is 138 seconds.
Where does it say that? Oh, it says it on there now.
Yeah, it does.
Look
yeah.
at that, Uncle Fuds. Has it always said it there?
I think.
Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I'm gonna check mine. Has it been there for ages?
Maybe the last couple updates.
I didn't even know that. Look at that. Alright, sweet. So we're at 138 seconds. So the good thing is you've got Multiverse Nexus. So the name of the game is reduce that as much as possible. Now, are you running a gold bot?
I am running a gold bot.
So you got a gold bot. Is your gold bot on sync?
No, because I'm running G-Comp as well.
Oh, you're running G-Comp. That's right. Sweet. In my opinion, I feel like for ease of use, it's super easy to just chill with G-Comp and just work with Multiverse Nexus, and then just walk the cooldowns downwards. Like whatever clicks cheapest until you get them both to 100 seconds, which turns out to be a 65-second sync. I feel like that's the easiest approach to it, where it feels like you're only getting a little bit of something, but because stones are so hard to come by, a little bit of something can feel like a little bit of everything. So I definitely recommend we're gonna take those cooldowns down. I don't know if there's anything else currently available to your account that will give you the gains like that. Will
Yeah.
it's
So
such cheap power right there for you.
yeah, so walk them down till 65 seconds ambient sync.
100%. I definitely
Yep.
want to take them down to 100 seconds, and I wouldn't be looking at taking them beyond that until you're looking at different strats that you may consider.
Yep.
Now, one thing that's probably hurting you as well as like that downtime is the downtime in Deathwave. So there's two versions that we can do this. You can do it down in a sync build. If we'll just pop over to your modules for a sec.
Sorry. Yep.
So if we did it, if we do it in some version of a sync, then we could opt for Primordial Collapse. Currently where you're at, you don't need to survive any longer. So there's no
Yep.
real point in running it. With the G comp as well, I think the G comp will definitely be helping. But I would encourage you to also explore, because you don't have perma uptime, I would encourage you to also explore a BHD and a sync with Goldbot as well. So using the calculator, experiment what works for you, because what it does mean is it requires a little bit more management. The other downside is it does mean that if you do run a sync and you walk those cooldowns down, generally speaking, you're gonna be quite calculated in how you're getting it synced with your Goldbot. So it can be a bit of a pain. That's why I kind of said at the start that just for easy use, it's so much easier just rolling with Gcomp and sending it all the way down.
Yep.
Another thing you could experiment with is, as we're getting more econ and we've got like a little bit of flexibility in our coins in that, is you can also experiment with swapping out Sharp Fortitude.
Okay.
When you feel like you don't need any more EHP. But 240 T war health is a bit on the low side.
Yes.
Like, I'm quite used to seeing accounts. I know mine was the same in tier 11 when I was doing Orbless, that my war health was 700-800 T.
Yep.
So you're kind of like at the bottom end of the spectrum. Do your runs end like early to anything? Like, if you get, like, what's the most problems in your runs? Are scatters still a problem, or have we passed that stage and it's raise?
I think it's probably having a pretty low wall health. So as soon as the wall goes down, I'll just instantly die.
Are you using landmine stun?
I am, yeah.
How early are you using landmine stun?
I think from the very start of the run,
Okay, just to help.
I'll be using.
So there'll
I'll
be
be using it. Yeah.
there's probably a stage in the game. So it all comes down to like a big factor is the death wave tagging, and it's kind of a reason why people will devo the damage on their account and try to have things at bay for a bit, so that they can tag with the death wave and that. But as our sync goes down and our death wave has more uptime, we're not so reliant on that. So having like some form of damage can also help with survivability in that. Like, let's say for example, if your whole wall's covered in scatters, turning Chain Lightning on deletes it, and then obviously you live like a little bit longer. And I mean, you'll know when that portion of the run is on your account.
Yep.
But I mean, it's probably pretty obvious, not only to anybody watching, but probably to yourself that you know how much of a big jump you're going to get from going from a what was it, 130-second sync
Yep.
to basically doubling it. You're going to
Correct.
get a lot more cells. You're going to get a lot more econ, and you would think that having the sync halved will only mean double the econ, but it will probably translate to a lot more than that because of like the downtime where things are crashing into your tower or dying from orbs and that sort of stuff, and you're not really getting the opportunity to tag them with Deathwave.
Yep.
And you'll probably get to a point like, I think there's a point beyond there where you get to the perma black hole stage, but once you swap, once you get down to 65-second sync, at that point, that's when I'll definitely recommend giving a try with BHD. Sync your Goldbot and experiment with a sort of sync build, and just try to see if you can squeeze out much more coins. But it looks like you're pretty much on par with pretty much everything that I'm saying. Like you're all kind of set up for it. It's just doing that journey along the way, eh?
Yep.
For sure. And your
I think
modules are
part of
pretty good level. Like the next big jump's 161.
yeah, I suppose I'm not too far away from 161.
So that opens up a lot of
Especially
stuff.
correct. It'd be nice to get another substat on the MVN, maybe like a GT bonus.
GT bonus is good. What I would recommend
Yeah.
is the next one that you chase is Spotlight Angle. And we can get to that when we get to the Ultimate Weapon tab. But
Yep.
the Deathwave quant, the GT cooldown, the GT Deathwave, all good stuff. That's exactly what you want to see. The next thing I would look at is Spotlight Angle as a priority.
Yep.
GT duration is good, but it's far more impactful when you're going for perma GT, or it's far more impactful when you've got GT plus. Probably like in the short term, what's probably good for you is probably like the GT bonus, but I'll prioritize the Spotlight Angle over the GT bonus, and I think a majority of the community would feel the same. Now, since the Spotlight still needs to be invested in, it might feel like it's a wasted slot, and sometimes you see something else come up first, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll get this because this will do the here and now. But the last thing you want to do is get a really good substat, get flash in front of your screen, and then you lose it, and then sometimes you don't see it for months or millions of shards. I'm sure everybody watching's probably got some sort of story about some punishing thing that they've tried to re-roll. But I highly recommend that you would use those 2 slots to roll the Spotlight Angle, because that'll be something that we're going to work on too.
Yep.
And then go for the GT bonus. And then I'm assuming everything else is rolled as well, like your G comps rolled,
Yeah, I would say so.
package
All the
charge, tech
important.
level skips, sweet coins per kill. Yeah, it's where you want it to be.
Yeah. For the PhD, it's a little bit more on the free ups.
Yeah, you're also 1 copy off, so you like kind of don't.
Correct.
Yeah, you're in that
I
spot
don't
where
want
it's
to
like,
roll anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
you may end up being 1 copy off for 300 years, or you may only, it might be your next pull and you might get it.
Correct. And this is the rolls for the sharp fortitude, so all the important ones. Regen, defense, wall health.
Okay. Sweet. And sorry, just off the top of your head, what was your lifetime coins again?
5.5 little Q.
5.5 little Q. So you got a bit of flexibility in there too. Like there's a few builds out there. Like I know myself, for example, I respect and siphoned off a couple Q around that mark, and then I bought some locks from the free up mastery. It's
Yep.
probably not something I'm going to recommend because there's for a specific build that I'm doing, so I probably wouldn't recommend that to you. But it can be something that we revisit later on because you've kind of got a bunch of the stuff, and especially with your chronofield, that are a bit of a foundation for it. But that's probably a build we can explore later. At the moment, it seems like Blender's probably a go for us. And are we farming at the standard range?
I am using a 90.5 meter range. That's to keep the orbs or the workshop orbs on
Inside?
the inside of the range. Yeah.
Okay. And so the only downside to farming with a larger range is a longer time for mobs to get to your tower.
Yep.
So like everybody at some stage will try to push for a minimum or a very short range, namely to basically just get whatever's coming on the screen to come to your black hole or your kill zone as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But you know, without orb slider, without free up locks, that sort of stuff, that's kind of like a discussion for a later stage. And if this seems to be working for you, it's definitely, yeah, you just stick at it, blender away. Do you run into any problems with I'm just trying to think how it's all working. Okay, now I'm with you now. Sweet. So we'll go back to the ultimate weapons. So I
Yep.
think the modules, for the most part, just keep them where they are. Get that other substat. G comp's looking good. Consider exploring running sync. Work out your times with the MVN calculator or whatever. Be
Yep.
mindful of your Golden Tower lab, not to overlap it. And when I say not to overlap it, for anybody that's watching, most of us would lab it to like level 10 or level 15 or something like that, and then from there onwards be extremely careful between balancing medals and balancing a lab level, because you can brick your build and it forces you into investing into Deathwave cooldown beyond a point where you would want to, just so that you can make some sort of sync. So it's just stones that could otherwise have gone elsewhere. But it's definitely something that's worth considering when there's a rainy day for you, when you're a bit bored or something like that.
Yeah.
definitely go and check it out and just see if it works. But I know a lot of people have had pretty good success with that.
Yep.
So we'll
Yeah.
start from the top. Oh, go you go.
I haven't started any of the golden bot labs yet, just because of um, what you just mentioned earlier with the use of the metals versus the labs. So I'll definitely take that with a bit more caution. I had no intention of doing any of the G golden bot cooldown labs, but I definitely wanted to do the duration labs.
I think you're, for most cases, you're pretty sweet to take it to like level 10 or level 15, and
Right.
then after that, um, then you kind of tread with caution.
Yep.
But level 10 and level 15 and that sort of range, all it means is like, yeah, you need like a little bit more medals to get you closer to these sorts of sync and that. But I think
Yep.
quite a few of us leveled to around that point. And for the duration, just max it whenever you've got a free slot.
Yep.
So Chain Lightning, it's got some mild investment in it. Are you kind of just mainly using it for to help with Tawny at the moment?
Yeah, that's right. So for the longest time, I couldn't find Chain Lightning. That's why I actually ended up with Spotlight um, before I did Chain Lightning.
I was the same, trying to chase Black Hole. I feel like I got everything else under the sun. Black
Yeah.
hole
Well,
was like my sixth ultimate weapon.
man, I'll tell you what. I love how we talked about the heavy investment in Chronofield at the beginning, but Chronofield was actually the very first ultimate weapon that I got.
What was the other lineup?
Well, I can't remember now, but it was definitely not any of the Econ ultimate weapons, but GT was the second one, so I picked it up straight away.
My first ultimate weapon was Chain Lightning, and I had Black Hole in the pool. I didn't
Oh
pick Black
no.
Hole, and I didn't see it for 6 ultimate weapons later. Take that, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, it broke my heart. I was so sad. So Chain Lightning, we could probably leave it for now. It
Yep.
will come in handy in tournament and milestones and all sorts of things.
Yep.
But it's not really needed in farm at the moment until like the top end or extending runs and that sort of thing, or helping making sure that scatters aren't really a problem. So it's probably fine for now.
Yep.
Where it probably fits in with farm is that it's not real. Oh, sorry. Where it probably fits in as far as tournaments go is it's not really like going to be the dominant thing that's going to cause all your performance. Say, for example, versus a tower like mine, that all it is chain lightning.
Yep.
But where it will help is it just spreading out a little bit more damage on the mobs, and if you're killing them through thorns or anything like that, through the melee attacks, it just means you don't have to do so many. So it's just going to be something that's just going to like aid your EHP during tournaments and that. But it's probably fine for a wee while there. And to be fair, looking at it, it's pretty damn close to where my chain lightning was for almost its whole existence.
Right.
So I only literally just polished off the quant and the chance like very, very recently. So it can probably carry you for a while. And then for the next ultimate weapon, we got Death Wave. So we talked about taking the cooldown down.
Yep.
That quant there for 500 stones are super cheap. I was one of the dummies that didn't do it for a long time. I wouldn't dedicate the 500 stones towards that just yet. But
Yep.
since you're familiar with my journey, don't leave it as long as I did.
Yep.
Because it was just free coins sitting on the ground. That I don't know
Yep.
why I never picked it up, but I was just so tunnel visioned into like which portion of the game I was and what I was focusing on that so you keep it in your back pocket, save it for a rainy day. For the
Yeah, that
CF, you go.
sorry, the death wave quantity, for the longest time I was sitting at, I think it was 1, and then with the substat it was 4, and then with the perk it would have been 5. But only very, very recently, maybe as recent as a week or two ago, I bought the first quant with the stones. So that's what brought it up to 5.
And
So,
then
but yeah, I'll
six
definitely
six with the perk.
sticks with the perk, yeah. So I'll
Yep,
definitely consider getting that second click into the death wave quantity at some stage. Definitely not before doing all the cooldowns on
for
death
sure.
wave and
Because
golden tower. Yeah.
that's also a bit of a journey too, and
Yep.
it's a longer journey for the portion of the game where you are.
Yep.
And CF, I'd say leave it alone for a bit, which is
Yep.
kind of a shame because with an ancestral role, you could have perma in tourney, unless there's the battle
Yep.
condition. But it is what it is. It's not the focus at the moment.
Yep.
Like a lot of the focus will be just getting up that coin per hour and your lifetime coins up and working on enhancements and stuff like that. And for the
Yep.
GT, duration's fine. Duration's pretty damn good, 42 seconds. Bonus is fine. I think that's the same bonus that I have.
Yep, and this bonus is also with the perk as well. So, oh sorry, um, on this screen it's the original, but then when I click into this, it'll
About
show
27.
what's
Somewhere
that's
between
with the perk.
25 and 30x is a nice window for a lot of people for quite some time.
Yep.
And then obviously we talked about the cooldown.
Yes, of course. Yep.
So at some stage, if I was you, I would explore a farming at 69, like the standard workshop range.
Yep.
Just allowing the orbs to be on the outside. You know, kind of like it is what it is kind of thing.
Yep.
And then because we're going to take over that substat slot eventually, if you go to a natural black hole of 58, it's enough that range enemy can't shoot you. So I don't know if normal range enemies are a problem. But
I don't think so.
But it also means that it's the same for 22 if you're going for a 69 meter, depending like what range you generally play in tournament and that. But just for reference, 58 meters means that the standard workshop range, you're pretty much covered there.
Yep.
So you could probably experiment. Like eventually we're going to get to the stage. Like the first thing that's going to happen to your account is you're going to get perma black hole. And that'll just happen naturally as you walk these, as you walk the cooldowns down. You'll eventually go to a perma black hole build, and then at that stage, you'll have so much uptime that you probably don't really need to farm at such a higher range. Because you'll get the enemies coming to you faster. Everything's dying in black hole anyway. And you're going to be tagging quite a lot of mobs. But we're going to take over that substat slot. So putting a little bit of stones, and it looks like it's fairly cheap, but it just kind of feels like it's a waste. Like it's like, I want to waste stones on something like this. But if you take it to like 58, 60 meters natural, you're covered in that for like a perma black hole build. And then at least you know everything's dying at that 11x. Duration, I think that's fine for perma black hole with ancestral G comp, because I think if you wanted to play it safe, you can put a couple more seconds into it. Take it to like 30.
The duration.
The duration, sorry. So it's like 32 or 33.
Okay.
Oh, my cloud phone keeps turning off. Oh, it keeps doing that. But you'll be able to see once you get to the lower end of the build in that, because it's not necessarily that perma G comp something that we're going to be chasing. It's just something that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
As we're walking the cooldowns down. But I think I was advised from Ryan, I think, to take it around to like 32 or something like that, and I'm pretty sure I've still got the same amount of black hole duration. And then for the spotlight, dude, we are going to show some love for spotlight. We're going to take it to 3 quant.
Yep.
Take it to 3 quant. You could probably take the angle to, what are we going to get? The ancestral substat, which will take it to 45. Now, anybody that's watching that's been a part of the journey that I've had along the way in that, they'll know that I've underinvested in spotlight so much for so long. And then it became something that I just really, really wanted to at least get online. It's still in a state where it needs a lot more investment. But with the subset, it'll take it to 45. Now, it'll be lovely to take it to 60 degrees with the substat. So then at least 50% of everything that dies on your screen dies with the coin multiplier. I think the coin multiplier is like 2 or 2.5 times. But I wouldn't say it's something necessary that you chase. I mean, you could probably take it to like 50. So if the substat, I'm pretty sure the substat's 14 degrees. 15 degrees. So that'll take you to 45. If you could put like 5, 6, 7, whatever you can in the degrees, it'd definitely be worthwhile.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think that also means I have to work on the Spotlight coin bonus lab, because I had a look at when I first got it, I looked at how expensive the upgrade costs was gonna be with the stones, that I felt like, I'll probably just leave it for
yeah.
now until I can invest into it.
Now the real question would be, at what are we supposed to do first? And because I'm not an effective path sheet guy,
Yeah.
um, there'd be something like there's some sort of balancing, and it's like this amount of this, and then do it this at this stage. I'll just say whatever works best for you. Like mentally, probably the easiest thing to do is walk the cooldowns down.
Yeah.
But probably before we get to that 65-second sync, there's probably a window where 3 spotlights is probably the go. So it's
Cheaper than walking the cooldowns down.
something like that, like the combination of the both. Because you're using GComp MVN, you don't necessarily have to do both of them. Like for example, you don't have to do the 324 to pull both of them down. But I would track each time that I do one down, because they kind of go, this one's slightly more expensive, but now this one's the next cheap one, and you kind of like one at a stage each time. I'll definitely keep following up on what my sync time is, or even if you break their natural sync that they have with each other, even check that sync time, and then it's always worth experimenting with a sync build, and somewhere in there there's a break point, like because there's a break point between what you can get with how much metals you have available for your gold bot in your sync, and then there's another difference, which would just be the higher uptime, more death waves going out, tagging everything, higher uptime in GT, that sort of thing. So there's somewhere in there where one of them will have a higher advantage. Like in most cases, that's why a lot of people that run sync builds will say, like, generally speaking, in most cases, sync outbeats no sync. But there's cases when it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like a good example was my tower, up in tier 17, tier 18, it hit a point where not having sync was better, just because I was getting more uptime and death wave. And then I changed my sync time, and then that kind of reverted back again.
Okay.
But you're probably pretty comfortable to just walk those cooldowns down, and then get the other spotlight. Now, when it comes to the other spotlight, I'm pretty sure it's about 900 or close to 1,000 stones for the third quant.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't add an extra quant and think that it's going to be a game breaker. Like, it's not going to do, like, 1 to 2 is going to do 2 cents of fuck all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't, and then we still got to do angle and that sort of thing. So it's like, really, it's like when you do it, you want to go full send. And there is charts out there as far as like just coverage goes, and that's something that you can consider. So it's like up to this many angle, then put this quant in, and then up to this many angle, put this quant quant in. Because at the moment we're not relying on Spotlight for damage, and we're relying on it for econ, you could probably consider actually using that chart, because at the end of the day, it's all just about what we're killing and how much coverage is the other mobs getting that multiplier on them.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all Spotlights are going to be used for, and probably going to be used for a while, until you start kind of relying on it in tournaments.
Yep.
Now, for the cards, I feel like on the card front, we're sweet. So the big thing we want to get to is we want to get to masteries. Now, you've unlocked the ability to unlock a mastery, but there's nothing really that screams out, at least when it comes to this, to the first initial stone dedication that, I've kind of recommended. There's nothing that screams out like it'll out trump any of those investments. So I'd say just leave the masteries until that part of the build's solved. Like, the thing that we want to get to is rare package chance, wave accelerator. Those are both really good ones. Enemy balance, I wish I got it sooner. Enemy balance, cash mastery. These are all really good ones. Wave skip, there's so many good econ ones. But we'll be better off tackling our econ ultimate weapons and everything, and solving that, and then getting back to those, and kind of figuring out how much their accounts improved, and kind of like how much we're just earning a day, and how we can sustain the masteries. But the goal after those initial upgrades would be to start trying to work towards the masteries.
Yeah. And I think another interesting thing to talk about as well is probably the ability to unlock the dissonance labs, the boost, because I don't think I'm too far away from that. I think it's tier 17, wave 60.
Yes. Are you currently doing your dissonance?
I have been doing mostly the ultimate
you've done
weapons,
heaps.
and yeah, I've done quite a bit. Like tier 11, I done the attack one as well, just to try and squeeze out a bit more damage for the.
To be honest, I'd say like going forward from now, just do the dissonance for the tier that you're going to be farming.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah, don't bother going backwards.
Correct. I've maxed out 10 and 11, which was the two tiers that I was doing.
Yeah, shit, they're fully maxed.
Yeah, so for the longest time I couldn't get tier 11 to weigh 5,000, so that was a bit of a struggle. That's why I stuck with tier 10 for the longest time.
Yep.
And it was still making, sort of 90 trillion in a run, but it's just taking 14 hours versus 11 and a half.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So now that I got the tier 11 maxed, it's a lot better, I think.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'd say, just leave all the dissonance, because even when you unlock that dissonance bonus, the passive effect that it gives you without the ability to do the lab, it's pretty negligible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no one's moaning, it's like it's all free, but it's the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Great. I mean, I am pretty close to, I would say I'm somewhat close to unlocking tier 17.
What's the unlock?
Tier 16.
300 waves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that tier 16 164 was done without the Primsy and nearly perma black hole as well.
Yep.
So now that I have the Primsy at a fairly good level, I might give that a try and get into tier 17.
Yeah, it's I mean, stuff like that wasn't available when I first started playing in that.
Yeah,
So it's all worth a try for sure. Like just regularly testing your milestones and that.
yeah,
Because you got the 4500 for tier 12.
yeah. But that was a struggle. Holy shit.
The 12 was a struggle.
Yeah, it
How
felt like a
long ago
struggle.
did
I
you
think.
do it?
Oh man, that would have been maybe. Actually, I want to see if it's in my.
Oh, you did it recently?
If it. Yeah, it wouldn't have been what that long ago. Uh, well, looked like it's longer than I thought. Maybe like I want to call it a month ago.
Okay, so that's after they made the changes to the tier and they scaled them down.
Most likely, yeah.
Because that
It felt
TIF, because you are still quite light on the EHP side, being only
yeah,
200T. Like
correct.
that's pretty good um for getting into 12-hour runs in tier 11. But that's definitely punching pretty high um, without having perma black hole. So
Yep.
you're doing bloody good at it. You're
I
giving it a
I
bloody
don't know
good
what I'm
nudge.
doing.
Yeah, you're giving it a pretty good nudge. Like you've got the damage reduction from CF, which I always used to turn it on at the end of my tier 11 runs, just so I could
Yep.
survive in the Orb Devo longer. Is Orb Devo something you would consider?
I think it really depends on how I'm required to play the game to make Orb Devo work. I think if there's a lot of, because I think what I am looking for in a way is kind of more AFK friendly.
More of a blender approach?
Yeah, 100%. I think every once in a while I'll have time to, look at the game and stuff, but more often than not, I'm not really looking at it.
Because I'm pretty sure Orb Devo's a pretty AFK friendly build.
Okay.
Do you have Singularity Harness? Sorry,
Great question.
I suppose I should ask the question. Have you always played Blender?
Yeah, I've only played Blender so far.
The only annoying thing if you do Orb Devo is when it comes to tournaments and that.
Yeah, I think that so I am aware with Orb Devo and how much respecking needs to be done to be actually viable in the tournaments. That's why I never really looked at it.
Now
I
there
think
is certain versions of like blended devos that are
yeah,
out there that people have done tutorials. I can't remember what they're called because they were kind of like invented past my time. So like when I was watching it, I didn't take as much interest as far as like referring it to people. I kind of just saw it and was like, oh yeah, that's an interesting approach, and it helped
yeah,
them being able to switch into a build a lot easier for tournaments
yeah,
where they didn't require any locks. They just required doing some stuff with free ups and that sort of thing to
yeah,
just quickly get everything online. I feel like though that's kind of when you're in the range of farming, like let's say, sorry, not farming. When you're in the range of doing tourneys where you're like, let's say like 1,000 plus waves, 1,500 plus waves, there's a lot more flexibility. So like when I was doing like 3,000 waves in champs and that sort of stuff, um, I didn't have to spec out. There is enough waves there that free ups and cash could just buy everything.
yeah,
So it just wasn't a pinch point, but there was a point leading up to there where I had to like do respecs and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's absolutely grueling way to play the game.
yeah,
Respect so much that I've just like don't do it anymore. I can't be bothered. I'd rather
yeah,
shit on
and
my hands and clap than do it again.
I I think I'd rather save the 150 gems um than to respec, because I think with specifically with where I am as well with tournaments being like I could do nearly 2000, or if not just above 2000 waves in flat when I'm in the top four, but then the next tournament I'm in the 6 to 700 waves, so that it's gonna take a lot of work to actually bring all those workshop
Yeah,
um,
the good thing
up
is
to
where your
max.
account is you've got quite a bit of flexibility. Like 5Q coins is pretty good, and it's pretty good considering you haven't explored any other builds, and there's a lot of low hanging fruit on your account that can
Yeah.
give you cheap gains. But I think you're going to
Yep.
be pleasantly surprised, and I think you know it too, when you get the spotlight online.
Yep.
Because what it will mean is that at all stages, whenever black hole activates or your sinks go off, um, one of your spotlights is pointing into one of your black holes at all times.
Yep.
So someone's always dying within that multiplier. And
Yep.
you get quite a nice little econ boost from that. And then obviously with a lower sync time, higher death wave uptime, more uptime on GT, black hole, it's all good things. And I think you're gonna really enjoy it. And it'll at least just alleviate a lot of the pressure in that. And if anything, there's just a few things that we just say don't invest anymore in at the moment, at this stage of where you're at, and that's like yeah, the CF, chain lightning, all that sort of stuff. You're sweet to leave it alone for a while and just revisit it
Yep.
another day. And there's nothing
Yep.
really at unlock as far as masteries goes that will overrule um, sorting out those econ ultimate weapons first.
Yep.
And that's something you can explore in the later date. But what we'll do is we'll sort out that stuff, and like even
Yep.
if we can catch up another time, we can see where you got to afterwards, and we'll see what the gap is in between you and consistently labbing masteries. Because there's still a little bit of work to be done afterwards as far as like min-maxing what we can do. And then with the current coins that you have, just pour it into any labs that are screaming out, or just pour it into your enhancements and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like and that should be enough to keep you occupied in that, because
Yep.
getting those enhancements up will be really good. Getting up your enemy level skips,
Yep.
which would just be like a mild investment in the health level skips. I wouldn't go too deep into it, because
Okay.
at the moment that's pretty much only going to be a tawny thing for you.
Yep.
That's not really a farming thing, and probably where we're going to get the best bang for buck on your account is focusing on farming at the moment.
Yes.
Like you're in a unique position where a lot of people that are in your position, I push them to just chase getting to that mid to high champs,
Yep.
and that's done through XYZ. But most of the people in that stage of the game, they've already done this low hanging fruit when it comes to these econ ultimate weapons. So for your account,
Yeah.
yours is you'll probably get the best bang for buck by doing these econ things, where it just gives you more flexibility to be able to afford labs in there. And can we have a quick look at your labs?
Yeah. Sure can.
Shatter Shards, what a grueling lab, eh?
I think I saved between Shatter Shards 3 and 4. I probably saved um up to one little queue, but then I blew it all in my workshop and my enhancements, and I was like, fuck, I need to bring it back so I can actually get the fourth level to start labbing. And I
Hey,
think I made it just in time for Shatter Shards 4 to actually get in there.
you're probably fine for your lab coin discount. You could probably put that on pause,
Okay.
because like level 40, level 50 is fine, like for
Yep.
ages, for a long time.
Yep.
It's not until you know you're at the window when you're coming up to masteries that putting a little bit more juice into it. So generally speaking, with a lot of people that max out all the packs, um, chasing things that will generate more income will far exceed stuff that discounts the spending of resources. For an account
Yep.
that's in a position like yours or a position like mine was, when I spent a majority of the time playing the tower, not buying stone packs and that,
Yep.
going for the discount stuff has quite a bit of an impact on your account. So it's all relative to spending, and you're at 13,000 stones, I think it was. So you've been playing for over a year, so I'm assuming you're not buying packs.
No, no, I'm not.
Not even on a rainy day, big guy. Not even when
Well,
you're feeling naughty.
right, on a rainy day is when I go to work.
Not even when you're smuggling across the Bahama with the cocaine cowboys.
No, I don't get paid for that.
Oh, we do it for free, eh? Or else Pablo sends the boys
I only do the flying for the motorboat shows.
for the motorboat shows. Are you able to just quickly dip into your labs?
Yeah.
We'll
I'll
have a
just
look
go
at
all
your
the way to the top.
favorites.
Well, I don't
You
put any favorites
don't really
in.
run with
Um,
favorites. So all this is
yeah, I
looking
just
pretty standard. You got all
yeah,
this stuff
yeah.
unlocked. We'll just scroll down. It's all looking pretty sweet. Oh, you got good investment in some damage. You could probably leave it there
Yeah.
for a while.
Okay.
You're probably pretty sweet. You're
Yep.
probably in a sweet spot that you'll know when it's time when you want to lean into the hybrid, and I highly recommend leaning into into hybrid is the way to go.
Okay.
Um, but where things are at in the moment, it's not benefiting you all that much. The only benefit that's going to come from it is just lessening the amount of hits that something has to do to you. But for the most part, we're trying to actually survive hits through
Yep.
EHP. So we're kind of like a very soft slash low investment in the damage, and we're more on the EHP side of things.
Yep.
And then we'll just keep going down. So you got plenty of room in your health and regen labs, which is good. So there's plenty of growth there. There's
Yep.
plenty of growth left in your war labs.
Correct. I think that's definitely a big one. In terms of all the wall labs, I should be looking at them at some stage.
You got Warford as well.
Yep.
So I mean that's something that we can consider is moving away from sharp fortitude and moving to orbital augment.
Okay.
That's something that you can consider. What it means is you're going to need a lot more EHP.
Yep.
Because like if you want to get into a good state with hybrid, a good measurement for it is how long you can survive a 12-hour run in tier 11 without the 50-50 trade-off.
Yep.
And that means you need a lot. Like you need like 700-800 T wall.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But if you get your wall to like, if your wall's sitting at around like 400 T, 350 T, that sort of mark, you're in a really good spot.
Yep.
So when I moved over, I got myself initially to that spot using the 50-50, and then I just kept pushing beyond that in preparation to drop the 50-50 trade-off.
Yeah. I think it's funny how we talked about, oh, how do you even get to 8,000 plus waves on tier 11 with such little investment? And I think the biggest contributors to wave counts like that is probably the 50-50 trade-off, as well as a
100%.
high enough.
And there's
Yeah,
people
high
that play
enough
hybrid
level
that
skip.
will take the 50-50 all the way to like tier 15.
Yeah.
It's not an uncommon thing to see. So you can
Yeah.
either um, introduce a bit of damage as hybrid,
Yep.
and then slowly phase out of it. Like a good example of somebody that did that would be like Zerdan. Like everybody knows Papa Zerdan. So like
Yep.
like he just naturally phased out of it when basically it was just not really giving him anything
Yeah.
because he was getting to a point into a run where things were just one tapping everything. And then so
Yep.
his transition was a lot more natural. And then there's other versions of it, which is a version that I went down where we kind of force that transition. You know, you give it a hard shock, so you get all the baseline and a bunch of things, and then you just eventually move to that transition. So like drop the 50-50 and then move into more of the glass cannon route and that sort of things. But going that sort of route is probably a little bit of a different choice than to where you are as far as your IRL,
Yep.
stuff. So it's kind of like advising that
Yeah.
is probably not the best. But definitely hybrid can be extremely helpful
Yep.
because, like,
Yeah. It's
let's say
funny. I
a
haven't.
boss hits you in 10 hits, he's only going to hit you in 7 or 6
Yeah.
or
Right.
something like that.
Right now they're hitting me for 6 after the plasma cannon and the occasional orb hit.
Yep, yep, and that
They're hitting me for
that's where you
6.
want to
So
get to.
yeah. It's funny. I haven't touched these wall labs in a long time because um, the last I've touched these wall labs was before the disco runs were a thing, and I was like, wow, this is getting
Yeah,
really
that's right.
expensive. Yeah, and then
So
as
that's the
soon
other
as
thing that I didn't really factor in, is that 200T wall health also factors in your dissonance, eh?
well, I haven't done any of the defense disco
Oh,
yet.
you haven't?
No, no, I haven't touched any of that
Okay.
because I
So
feel like my attack isn't good enough.
oh yeah, because you got to do it glass cannon, eh?
Yeah,
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 which will be really hard.
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty tough, so I didn't really bother. But now with the disco bonuses and everything, and having a much higher daily coin income, I'll definitely be able to touch into these wall labs for sure.
Sweet. How's the utility looking? Oh, don't
Um,
you want cash per wave? Coins per wave,
no love for the
interest.
cash per wave.
Package amount, you got package after boss, which is good. Package chances
Yeah.
done. Yeah, it's all looking pretty good.
And just another thing, this one was purely just for the gem rush bonus.
Ah, I didn't even
No,
think of that. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, for no other reason that I did that.
And the ultimate weapon tab looking good.
I would say so. Chronofield labs are completed apart from the reduction, which is 2 levels away.
Man, that's
So
long
that's
labs,
gonna
eh?
long. The duration I thought was long, and then this one's quite long as well. I think they're all equal
I mean,
length.
on the plus side is that there's gonna come a stage where that probably doesn't feel useful. But
Yep.
on the plus side, with the changes around certain things in that, at some stage it will be useful.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought, these are cheap
There's
too,
probably a lot of
you know?
things now in the game that are kind of like that, where it's
Yep.
like, oh, this is only going to have a very temporary use, and then outside of this tier or this specific thing, it now
Yep.
loses its use.
Yeah.
But now there's a lot of things that will have its use later on. Say for
Yep.
example, like where I currently am, a lot of the
Right.
stuff is stuff that I'm considering looking at.
Yep.
And that's all looking all good.
Uh,
We don't have inner
yeah, I think
landmines
this one.
unlocked, eh?
No, no.
Yeah, sweet. That's not
Um,
really useful at the moment.
yeah, I'm wondering if I should take this one all the way up to max, because that's what I'm intending at the moment. It each level is about 1 day at 4x speed,
Yep.
so it's
I'm
actually
assuming there's
doing
a
alright.
point where you get to in champs where you can take advantage of all of that death wave. So
Yeah.
it probably is pretty good to have. It's probably pretty cheap.
Y- Yeah, I think at champs at the moment it's a bit of a struggle town at the moment because there are not enough enemies for me to tag.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
it's more around the over 1,000 mark.
yeah, that's right. And I'm sort
Yeah.
of, I suppose, inching closer and closer to it the more I do these farm runs and the labs. So we'll see how it goes. But it'll be useful at some point, I'm sure. Chronofield range is max, so that damage reduction for Chronofield is quite the last lab to be done for Chronofield. All the black hole ones are completed. Spotlight, that'll go in at some point because that's pretty short lab, it
Yeah,
looks like.
when you're closer to those 2/3 beams, that's when I'll consider it. For now, it's
Yeah,
probably pretty
100%.
fine.
I'm considering this once I have some space for it for the smart missiles
Yeah,
event.
even put one or two in there so it can tick off that
Okay.
mission.
Yeah, because that one's
It's
a bit shit
annoying,
if I'm gonna be missing out
bro.
on medals.
That mission's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
For the scatter, you can pretty comfortably take the scatter lab up to 5 or 10,
Yup.
even at 5, because there'll become a point in tournaments where scatters will be a pain in the ass for you.
Yup.
Like even if you're not experiencing it now, and I'm assuming it's like bosses are the problem,
Yes, that's right.
there will become a point where scatters become a problem too, as just the
Yup.
wave health keeps creeping up, and at least
Yup.
eliminating them from being a problem, and their labs right there.
Yeah.
You should definitely consider even just putting some levels in it.
Yup.
Death wave amplifiers, not really any good. Armor stripping, probably just steer clear of it,
Yup.
because you get to a stage like where I am, and I want all the armor on the enemies.
Yeah, okay. That's with the orb mastery. Extra orb mastery.
I don't quite have that yet, but
Okay.
it's to get them closer, all clumped together and get them right close to the tower. So basically, as they're flying in,
Yeah.
I don't want anything to apply damage to them.
Okay.
So I just want them to get right on top of my tower and then strip all the armor and then take off the health, all in like a really fast window. Now that does really
Yup.
only apply to me because I'm doing like a damage build, opposed to
Yeah.
a EHP build. But I think it's kind of something that a lot of people go by,
Mhm.
where it's like you want the armor on them.
Yeah.
Like when I first encountered that battle condition in farm, it threw a bit of a spanner in the works. But as I just like got more and more multipliers, it's like, oh no, now I'm devoing off heaps of stuff so that they have more armor on them. It's like something that you want,
Yeah.
which is a really strange thing to say.
Yep.
It's like saying I like punching myself in the dick. Everything else looks pretty good. Cards, all
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, so nothing done in terms of um, energy shield or second wind recharge or anything like that.
I think
Um,
the only reason why you would want recharge demon mode and recharge nuke will be for the mission. So you can
yeah.
sub out a card like cash or free ups or whatever,
Yep.
health, if you can go without it for so many waves,
Yeah.
and then you can just manually activate the demon mode or the nuke,
Yep.
just to complete that mission as fast as possible, and so you can get that card slot back.
Yeah, I mean, I usually find that it doesn't take too much time if both the demon mode and the nuke missions come up together at the same time. And then I'll just go to some really high tier max range, let them all stick on the range, pop the demon mode, and then nuke them all.
Yep. Yep.
And
I
then
know what you mean.
that tends to take pretty good care of it. Um, and for anyone out there watching, I found that for the energy shield missions too, if you did a defense disco run and have no damage whatsoever, you can just keep hitting retry, and you'll
Aha.
get a lot of energy shield hits because it's only 1 HP. So the
Yeah.
moment they come on your tower, it's gonna get popped.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And how's the perks looking?
So not too much investment in the waves required
You got plenty of
department,
bands,
but
which is good.
expands. It seems to be doing all right for the time being. I
You're
am doing all my picks manually.
you're pretty comfortable to take the waves required to like level 20.
Okay.
That's kind of like where a lot of people settle with. Anything beyond that, it's like if you got it to level 20, anything beyond that would be like if you know you're going to jail for 2 years and you need to put a long ass lab in. So it's like I'll just sit
Yeah.
this, or you know when you finally get caught for smuggling all that cocaine,
Yeah, for all the
that's
motorboat shows,
all
then
the
I'll
motorboat
put it.
shows. That's when you'll have to. That's when you put something like that in. The only
Yep.
problem with it is the lab is really long. There's somewhere in
Yeah.
there where that lab like just kicks it up a notch, and it's a really long one. So just
Yep.
use it when you've got literally like nothing else to lab, and just add a little bit more in. The only other time I would recommend adding in more waves required is when you're searching for a little bit more consistency. So there's certain tiers that you farm, certain strats that you use. Most of it don't revolve around 12-hour runs. It's normally when you're doing a little bit shorter. But that's when you are looking for like real good consistency with your perks, like it can make or break a run. And then that's when it
Yep.
like as far as like the priority list, that's when it kind of like bumps up there. Your bands are really good.
Yep.
Like what's the max? Is that one more lab is max, eh?
It's
Eight?
two more.
Two more?
Um,
So yeah,
yeah. So
you're in a really good spot.
I had a phase where I was just constantly labbing this lab up to six, and then as it was trying to lab the seventh one, I ran out of coins, so it just stopped. Then I said, okay, maybe it's about time I stop as well. So
Now here's an
went and done
interesting
something
thing I
else.
can see. You've got no auto picks.
Yeah, I do my picking all just manually.
Is there a reason why you've opted for no using auto and you choose to manually pick it?
Um, I suppose because given the circumstance in terms of IRL stuff, I do have some form of time available to myself, even for an overnight run. Um, I'll be able to start a run early enough, pick all the important ones that will actually make a difference in the run, and then just leave it. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll pick the rest. And if I don't wake up, I'll find that the next morning I wake up, the run's still going on, especially if it's like a tier 10 back in the day. Tier 11, it's a little bit different now, but um, so far it's been working out. But I think at some stage it would be nice to start labbing that as well.
And go for the autos?
Yeah,
Yeah, just get some quality of life, eh? What it does
yeah,
mean is because you have the availability and you're so used to auto picking, and I suppose you get like really good gems because you check in quite frequently. It
yeah,
does put you in a unique position that you are mentally geared to explore other builds that require hand picking perks at certain
right,
windows that probably other
yeah,
people aren't mentally equipped for or actually just have no interest in it.
yeah,
Um, but that's something we can discuss at a later date.
yeah. I think part of me, even playing as a blender build now, I am very interested in doing auto picks. However, um, I don't know. I think there's just I have bigger fish to fry in terms of labbing. labbing other things, I feel,
Yeah, you got
over
some long
something like
labs
that.
coming up, eh? Because
Yeah,
you're about
yeah,
like over a year. You're a year and some change into the game, and that's
yeah.
around the window when you've got like long ass labs that you need to conquer.
Yeah, I'd say so, especially now with like I'm glad the chronofield reduction is almost completed because that'll be the very last one for the CF stuff. Shadow shards,
Oh,
that's
you
a whole
completed the
other kettle
duration?
of fish. Yeah, everything for CF apart from damage reduction is completed. Oh,
Good.
sorry. Yeah, reduction percentage.
Yes,
So the duration is completed.
good stuff.
The range is completed. Where is it? Right here. That's completed. And then the percent reduction is the last one. So once I take this to max, all the CF labs are completed.
Yep. There's probably going to be a lot
Yeah.
of people that jump in the comments that are going to be like, "Why the hell did you?" But
Because
the
when
thing is
I need,
like, at the end of the day, every build eventually is going to need CF. Now,
yep.
I know people refer to a build guide that didn't have it and all that. Yeah, well, we don't care about that. That's less than 1% of the population. But eventually, we all end up running CF. So there is no time wasted in it. I think probably just the general consensus amongst a lot of people would be um, just a bit after some of the stuff we're about to solve now would be when we
Yeah.
consider. But
And I
once you
think,
do the stuff that we're about to do, you've already got it there waiting for you.
yeah, and I think another thing, like maybe another reason why I was doing a lot of the CF labs was because it was just something that was really cheap, and CF was something I was running during my farming runs and my tourneys anyway. So I think it'll just always be this incremental progression in terms of CF until very soon when I get that last one done and it'll just be completed. Um, so it's just been running this whole time.
Makes sense. Can we have a look at the bots?
Yeah, I have nothing done in the bots so far.
Sweet. So we got uh, Goldbot duration and Goldbot cooldown to work with. So there's a nice passive increase for us. Definitely max out the range first, and then go for cooldown. So do the
Yep,
duration lab. You could probably put like 10 levels into cooldown in the lab, and then the rest. So go max out your range, and then go for some
yep.
uptime. I think I'm advising that correctly. I'm pretty sure that's the path. But you can definitely
Yeah,
check out one of the tables
yep.
as far as uptime and that, because we're not
I think
locked
with
into a sync at the moment, so there's a lot more flexibility for you.
I think I'm quite a ways away from gold boxing the range as well, because I'm only sitting at about 58 meters. I think the max is 68.
It's pretty big now after one of those updates.
Yeah, that's right. So, and each click is, and obviously, I'm saving quite a few medals for the coming
I'm trying to think.
event.
Where's my Goldbot events? So 72, and I have Singularity Harness on, which is 5, so it's about 60 something.
Okay,
It's quite expensive.
72. Yeah, okay. So 65-ish meters, let's
But
call it,
but
at
just
max.
getting that coverage is going to be so nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
100%.
and then slamming that cooldown,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be really good for your account. That's another thing that we have to factor in. But um, yeah, for sure. And
Yeah, I think
as far
I'll.
as your modules go,
Sorry, one sec. Yeah, so nothing in the enemies as well. Obviously, at this stage of the game, I don't think there's
yeah,
any requirement to touch any
nah,
of that.
they're pretty rubbish to be honest.
Yeah. Mods, reroll shards, I'm intending to finish at some stage after the shatter shards for sure.
Do
Um,
you have anything important to re-roll? There's nothing screaming out that's high priority at the moment, eh? Like obviously
yeah,
we're gonna re-roll that MVN, but it's not
Yep.
until level 161 that
Yes.
you can just like really spruce up your modules.
Yep.
But when it comes to like more EHP leaning stuff, substats aren't as required as when you're going more damage,
Yep.
or let's say like glass cannon and all these sorts of unique kind of builds, and you kind of every substat kind of counts. Whereas you're not really so hungry for it when you're doing like
Yeah.
a basic blender build. So you're probably sweet. Probably the only flip side to that, I would say, is having it just means that it's building up over time.
Yeah.
And like, so if it's accumulating the resource over time, when you call on it, it's available for you.
Yeah. I think that was definitely the idea.
So,
The idea, and I always
and
wanted
I'm
to
pretty
leave
sure it's
one
pretty
of the
fast,
labs.
eh?
I would say so. I think it's only 50 more levels to go as well. If I put it in a 4x, that shouldn't take too long.
Like, you could probably consider doing it in place of lab coin discount,
Yeah. Yeah.
because there shouldn't
I think I
really
might.
be anything screaming out that's super costly, that requires you know, demands that you have lab coin discount.
Yeah. I think I might swap out the lab coin discount for one of the wall labs, and then once the lab is completed, that'll be another spot
Yeah, I think I think that's
available.
probably where your money is. Like, a lot of those
Yeah.
EHP labs will be cheap power for you when it comes to, even if it's not really required for farming, because you're doing like a
Yeah.
okay job of it. You're
Yeah.
definitely going to thank yourself when it comes to tournaments.
Yeah. 100%.
So that's probably something that we could factor in, that like with your econ, get some low hanging fruit when it comes to damage, with the mentality of it's just there to supplement how many hits you're going to take.
Yeah.
But there's so many low levels in the EHP stuff, you can really lean hard into it.
Yeah. The wall labs are a big one. I think I just got distracted somewhere along the way with labbing all a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I'd consider doing it sooner rather than later.
yeah.
Would be
100%.
slapping in EHP lab. I mean, yeah, you could go after Death Wave Health. You could
Yep.
go after the lab coin discount. There's a few of them that look like they're wrapping up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. The lab speed. Oh man, that's a long one for sure. Um, it feels like I was doing one level a day at 4x only a few weeks ago, and then now it's been taking multiple days
Yeah, I
per
think I
level at
completed it
4x.
on
So
my first year anniversary. I think I gem rushed like the last
yeah,
level.
that's something I should have put in a lot sooner, I feel.
I think you like, when it comes to accounts that are free to play, like a lot of labs and cells are like super important.
Yeah.
Like, because you're just playing time.
Yep.
Now, generally, like what I recommend to people that aren't buying packs is play meta, and don't offshoot off meta,
Yep.
because like without buying packs, you have nothing to lean into except for playing the most optimal version of the game,
Yep.
which is like the path that many people have taken, which would be like EHP, Orb Devo, some type of hybrid, some type of Orbilis, some type of glass cannon, and then some type of hybrid again, leaning back into that hybrid.
Yeah.
But a lot of it just also depends on the player too. So if you want to just opt for the blender style in that, and then after some of these changes and the econ that you get, we can catch up again and see where you're at, and see if there's an adjustment to the build that you want to make. See if we
Yeah,
can
that'll be
squeeze out a
cool.
little bit more.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool to see the difference once I'm able to do all the stuff that we talked about today.
I think you'll be happy because you'll just feel progress.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it'll just be noticeable. Like each week you'll be clicking into something, and psychologically that does something for you
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's the build up and spend mentality of the game, and then
yeah.
you are working within the psyche of an incremental game where you're building up and you're spending.
Yeah, I think especially, well, for me personally, anyways, I can't speak for anyone else. I think for me, the amount of time that's being invested into things like labs and, playing the game and doing a bit of research and watching a bunch of videos, things like that, it sort of aligns very well with what I experienced in my career so far, because it took a lot of investment of time and effort and studying, and it's sort of what you do outside of um, the actual stuff that you're doing that kind of really counts towards the progression, I feel.
Bro, you know
Um,
what? It's funny you say that. I actually never thought about it that way.
yeah, it's kind of like the work that you do that people don't see is what
Yeah.
makes the biggest impact, I feel.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way. That
And
is
then people
interesting.
come around the next day, oh, how'd you do that? Well, I don't know.
Yep. Yep. No, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so
So on the
yeah, and just
cards. Oh yeah, no, you go.
sorry, just one last thing as well. What are your opinions in terms of leveling this to max for a normal farm run?
I don't think it'll be much use
Yeah,
currently
yeah,
because what you're trying to do is you're trying to tag as much things with Death Wave as possible
that's
because
right.
your Death Wave uptime is so high.
Yeah,
But because we're opting for MVN over Prim C, which by nature at 100 seconds has a higher or a lower uptime of Death Wave with the higher cooldown, because we're going to have a
yes,
much lower cooldown, it means you can opt for killing things faster.
yeah,
So getting things, just throwing a tag on it and getting it off the screen. Not spawn capping nothing, which you shouldn't have a problem with smaller mobs spawn capping.
yeah,
And it's been a while since I was at that stage where you are in the game. But I do remember when I initially started at that stage in the game, I would have like 600,000 rays sitting on the outside, and then they changed how
yeah,
the
yeah,
elite caps worked and all of that. Like you would have been around when that update came out, and then
yeah. I remember something like
yeah,
that.
and then they changed it again. So like I kind of just got lost in the source with how many times they changed what the caps were.
Yeah,
But basically, you don't at any stage want to see scatters or rays at their max cap, which I think
yeah,
is 5 or 7 or some sort of shit like that.
yeah,
Because you're just going to tag it and get it off the screen as fast as possible.
yeah,
Because we also have to factor in coin decay.
yeah, yeah,
So that's the other thing that we have to factor in. It's like, yeah, I can sit there, I can tag it, and I can hoard it. Like, there's somewhere in there when there's a balance, and that just goes by testing between Deathwave uptime and tagging, and
yeah,
then getting it killed and off the screen, so that you can get the coins from it. And that mainly just comes down to testing. And sometimes stuff that we test, it doesn't make sense to what we read on paper. But in a general
yeah,
note, the stuff that reads on paper that it's supposed to be doing a certain thing, sometimes there's a hole in our build that we have to plug in order to make it match the paper, and then you're like, oh, now I see what people mean. It's because I didn't have the last click in this, or this wasn't set up correctly. But
yeah,
getting those cooldowns, getting the third spotlight, getting the substat on your MVN, and experimenting the whole way down while walking those cooldowns with a sync build, and it will
yeah,
give you something to think about until then. All the coins that you generate, there's no expensive labs that are high priority at the moment. So focusing on your workshop, getting your effective health up, sprinkling in
Yeah.
a little bit of damage, even though it's not super useful at the moment. It's going to serve a purpose. I
Yeah.
think that's enough there, and there's enough stones there that's realistically probably 3 or 4 months of progression.
Yeah, I agree.
So it'll be like, what are we? July, June? Are we almost
Yeah,
July?
end of June at the
Yeah,
moment.
so
Yeah.
we'd be at the tail end of the year, and then we've also
Yeah.
got other updates that are coming up that are probably going to spice things up. So hopefully we can just accelerate this portion of it as much as possible, because this part feels slow, but it's going to feel rewarding. And then we're going to hit the next window of the game, which is preparing for masteries, which
Yep.
can feel extremely slow. And then once we hit that masteries point, then it's the best time of your life.
Yeah. That'll be fun
It's
for
such
sure.
a fun window of the game. I
Yeah.
always
I mean,
get
even
excited
now,
for people that hit that window.
I think even now with where I am now, I always sort of whenever it feels like it's a bit stagnant and whatnot, I always try and think of where I was only a few months ago.
100%.
Before the disco runs were a thing, or before I got the permanent. Oh, sorry, before I maxed the cooldown for the black hole and how much of an effect that had on the MVN sync and so on and so forth. So it's already been a lot of progress.
Yep.
But yeah, just trying to optimize the progression path as best I can, because obviously I don't make as much stones as someone that
A hundred
perhaps might
percent. And if you
buy.
if you were like pounding through the stones through stone packs, my recommendations would be completely different.
Yeah.
Like I would be full pushing for going the damage route and all sorts of stuff, because all these things, like the stuff about walking these cooldowns, that's just 1 month of stone packs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like boom,
Yeah.
that's that done. Now we're on to the next thing. The
Yep.
getting the third spotlight, like bro, you could go 4 spotlights, and that's a month. So it's like the
Yeah.
timeline's like heavily skewed. So like the stuff that I've kind of recommended is more on the lighter end, mainly because that's months worth of work right there.
Yep.
But for tournaments and that, definitely leaning into your EHP and that sort of stuff. And as you're experimenting with your sync, and as you're getting more EHP, which will eventually like do nothing for your farming run, but will help
Yeah.
with your champs runs. For your farming, you're not really, you're going to get to a stage where you're not going to be required to rely on sharp fortitude, and you may call on it at a later date. So then we start
Yeah.
experimenting with running orbital augment,
Yep.
and then we can
Yeah,
kill.
which is ancestral 2-star as well, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like you got some rolls on it as well.
Yeah.
And then it means that we can kill protectors faster. We
Yep.
can kill, assuming we're getting some good tags off with the death wave, we can kill elites faster. It's just going to be just a bunch of stuff to experiment with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely since it's a couple months of progression there, definitely experiment with running syncs. Every time you do a click, calculate it out, see what you can do. And then I know like
Yeah.
some of the stuff costs gems, and it can feel like uh, the gems are getting wasted, like especially when you're like testing certain things or
Yeah.
doing respecs for tournament and that. The easiest way to think about it, and I think this kind of helped me through when I was respecing every tournament, was think about it that you're exchanging gems for stones,
Yeah.
and treat it like you're purchasing more stones with gems, like for the 200 gems or whatever it takes to do a soft respec, or 150 gems, 300 if you're hard respecing. You're just exchanging it for more stones.
Yeah.
And I think if we could all do that with our gems, if you're sitting there on 15,000 gems and then there was a shop that had an availability of 40 gems for 300 stones, we'd all purchase it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 40 stones for 300 gems. Did I say that right? Or did I say it backwards?
40 stones for 300. Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, yeah,
Versus metals,
if you
yeah.
think about it, if you think about it in that mentality when it comes to respecing for tournaments, it kind of helps you like process it more, because I have the exact same problem at the moment. I don't respec for tourney because
Yeah.
I got so sick and tired of doing it. It's more the effort of doing it is
It
what,
is a
like,
bit of a chore, I feel. Yeah.
it's just annoying. I just want to play it
Yeah.
and then go. So that's why I don't do it. But you know, if that means that I'm leaving gemstones or potentially keys on the floor, I'm just like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's just a game at the end of the day.
That's right. That's right.
But sweet. So before we go, is there anything you want to say to the Tell fam out there?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on a gamble? We got given 10 module tickets today. Let's
Go
have a look and
do
see
it,
what my luck
Gamba,
is.
Gamba, Gamba.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Ah,
Oh, I did the same thing. So
just my luck.
on my update video, I did the exact same thing. I was like, I went and did it, and I was like, oh, nothing. And I was like, all right, we'll do one more for good luck. Got nothing again. Oh, fuck's sakes.
I'll tell you what, something I recently learned as well was because I used to hoard a lot of modules from all the drops from like bosses and like fetch chip and things like that, just to get this auto merge up to really high numbers so that when the mission
When the mission come
event
around,
event
yep.
yeah, when the mission comes around, I could just hit that and be done with it. And then for like weeks on end, I was not getting any module drops, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I said to myself, you know what? Stuff it. I'll just auto merge a bunch of these, and then just to make some space, because I thought to myself, well, it's about time to have a look at what's actually in my inventory and things like that. And all of a sudden, I was just getting all these consistent drops. So um, that's something to for anyone that doesn't know, it's pretty valuable, I feel, um, because I was hoarding the new mods for no reason, and I just wasn't getting any additional mods
Oh,
after that.
true. I didn't think about that. Like you maxed it out.
Yeah, once your inventory's full up to 300, you're just not gonna get the same rate, like, because as
Oh
you can see
no.
from my mod labs, my all my stuff's gold boxed apart from shatter shards and the reroll shards.
Yeah,
Um,
shit. Yeah,
so
make
yeah,
sure you're merging your modules, fam.
when I noticed it, I'm like, wow, so heartbroken.
Yeah,
Because
I can
obviously,
imagine.
what could have been gained was obviously just kind of flushed down the toilet.
For sure, for sure. And then
Yeah,
I think like that's when you get rare package chance mastery, you got to be loving it. You got to be loving
yeah.
it
I think that's something definitely to look forward to. I think by then, hopefully, the shadow shards will be done. Most likely, it will be,
for
which
sure.
I'm thankful that it will be.
And even when we get you
So
to like keeping the same sort of blender, but then swapping to BHD and then syncing your goldbot, like your gold, excuse me, your goldbot's gonna have an extra 3 or so months worth of metals invested into it.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
just gonna be even in a much better spot
that's right.
than where it currently is. So
Yeah,
you know we'll be able to take quite advantage of it.
yep,
But there's a few thoughts in here also to consider for when you watch back on the video, if there's for yourself, like if there's
yep,
anything in there. But there's a quite a few things that you can experiment with.
yep,
And I mean, even experimenting with changing the range and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like it all comes down to like the lower that sync gets and the higher the uptime, the less importance of the hoarding. You know, like that version of the game.
Yeah.
can also change, but it's also dependent on quite a few factors. So that's stuff to just experiment with along the way as well.
Okay.
But there is also is also Orb Devo to consider, and you can get
Yep.
a really nice Orb Devo with a 65-second sync, a really good one,
Mm.
and that can also be something that gets us across the edge for masteries as well. If we get to that stage,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be able to see what the difference is in the income.
Yeah.
Like, let's say if the target's like 700 or 800 T a day, and we're currently earning 3 or 4, then we need to figure out where to get the rest. And that might
Yep.
be through experimenting through different builds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet as. Well, guys, it's been absolutely awesome. JR, thank you for your time. Thanks for jumping
Thank you,
in.
thank you.
And also, dude, thanks for always showing up for me. I super appreciate it.
Thank you.
You show up every week. You know, it means a lot. You keep chat alive. You keep me thinking. And it's good to have you part of the guild as well, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
And yeah, we'll talk soon, eh? And if we don't talk before, I'll see you in the next live.
That sounds good.
Sweet ass. So, gents, if you like what you see, you know the drill, fam. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can see when the next video's coming out. And as always, keep it cloudy, fam.